Well, we continue to see this cool northwest, hot southeast contrast across Europe. Doesn't look as if it's going to change anytime soon. Thanks for clicking on to the Friday edition of Vogan's European Outlook. Hope everybody is safe and well wherever you are. Before we continue with the video, be sure to hit that like button, share with your friends and family, and subscribe to the channel. I greatly appreciate everybody's support. Certainly, the views have been starting to kind of crank up a little bit in recent days as well, so I do greatly appreciate people taking the time out of their busy day to check out my videos, and I continue to strive to provide unique and informative 7 days a week content here on the channel. Another busy weekend coming up here at Vogan Weather on YouTube. I will have the tropical outlook tomorrow, and then the live stream will be at 4 p.m. as usual on Sunday afternoon. There is a link in the description below today's video for that video, so you can even hit the notification bell so that you're notified when the video will be going live. By the way, this is an interesting tweet here by Fraser Wensith. Him and some of his Tesco colleagues taking a hike up Ben Nevis yesterday afternoon. Wind chill of -11, and you can see here mid-winter conditions. It's incredible to see this photograph and go, this is early June now. I actually happen to be, this is going back 7, possibly 8 years ago, maybe even longer than that. I did take a hike up Ben Macdui in the month of July, I think it was. July, I think, yeah. And there was hurricane force winds and bitterly cold wind chill. There was also big snow patches still up there at that time as well. If you actually happen to check out, if you're interested in that, you can go on to marvoganweather.com, and see if you click on the Scottish Mountains tab, you can actually see. Basically, I did a small report and added in some photographs of every Munro that I climbed. Haven't done one in recent years, but if you're so well away inclined and you're interested in that, you can check that out on marvoganweather.com. Just click on the Scottish Mountains tab at the top of the website. But anyway, also some very interesting things going on at the moment here. This is part of Ian Cameron's Twitter page here, and he's an expert in snow patches around Scotland, and he showed this brief image here of fresh snow falling this morning, just before 8 a.m. this morning. And this was day 4 consecutive days where snow and accumulating snow has materialized over the tops of the Scottish mountains. Now, he goes on to say that the record, now this is getting into rather unusual territory, that there's now been 4 consecutive days of measurable snow over the mountains of Scotland. Snow generally in the mountains happens every 3 to 5 years, so it's not that unusual. But what is becoming more unusual is the fact that we're seeing a 4th consecutive day of fresh snow lying on the top of the Scottish mountains. Now, the record, he says, is 9 days, and that has been achieved on 2 separate occasions. Only 2 years we've seen 9 days of measurable snow. That's a total, I believe, not consecutive days, but 1977 and 2012. Now, what is actually rather interesting about all this is this cold pattern looks as if it's going to continue well into next week. And if you look at the latest, what would this be? The ECMWF. This is the snow depth projections. And through the course of today, we're seeing more areas of fresh snow seen by the model. Let's actually hone in on Scotland in particular, because we're not really getting anything further south. But if we look at Scotland specifically, now we did have a new frontal system that moved through during the course of today. That is now reinforcing the chilly theme that we've already got going at the moment here. So keep in mind that this is the temperature normally for the month of June so far. And this, by the way, is the upcoming 5 days. Firmly below average. 6 to 10 days, again, firmly below average. Notice here that the chill is now starting to penetrate all the way down into Spain and Portugal. So we're going to turn more settled and cooler down here. Looking across southeastern Europe, I've got a colleague that's going to Antalya on Monday, and I've warned them that it looks as if it's going to be pretty darn hot, to say the least. And then we eventually, according to the GFS, we eventually see a reprieve coming. But this is the period between the 17th and the 22nd of June. So going back to the snow prospects here, this is off the ECMWF, like I say, and we play through this loop, and you can see here as we skip through the loop, you can see here the little areas of snow appear. They kind of come and go, because when you got any kind of sunshine at this time of the year, the snow disappears very, very quickly. Then you've got another shower rattles in on that west and northwesterly wind, and you see the snow coming down. It accumulates and then it disappears once again. But as we play through this loop, you can see here that it continues to come and go even into next week. We can still see that the model is sniffing out snow. So here's Wednesday, 18 UTC, and it's sniffing out snow over the Central Highlands once again. So that to me tells me that we're going to maintain this theme as we progress all the way through the weekend and into next week as well. And then that starts to beg the question, where's this temperature normally going to go? So at the moment we're on day 7, and it looks as if through the next at least 7 days we're going to still stay average to below average. That anomaly is going to continue to go lower. And essentially what I'm getting at here is that it would take a heck of a warm final 10 days of the month. So final 12 days, final 10 days of the month to turn this cold anomaly around on its head. So therefore, this could turn out to be one of the cooler Junes in some time for the British Isles here, and for Ireland as well. Let's not forget our friends in Ireland also. And look at the, across the majority of France, Low Countries, Germany, below average. Much of Italy, the northern half at least, is below average. Spain and Portugal, you're going to start to lose some of that warm anomaly as we go through the next week to 10 days, because we're going to start to see colder air moving southwards. And we're going to talk about the potential of something even cooler than what we've just seen this week, next week. We'll touch on that in just a second here. But they certainly, nonetheless, a very, very interesting pattern. It's frustrating because this is the type of pattern that we could have done. If you're interested in a lover of all things snow and cold like I am, and I know many of you here on the channel are, this is the type of pattern that we could have only dreamt of back during the winter season here. NAO, and AO, is firmly negative at this moment in time. So this is the latest visible satellite image. There's the area of low pressure that's been kind of dominant to the north of the UK. It's been driving this northwesterly flow along with that high over the Atlantic throughout the course of this week. And, temperatures here at the house, 19.8 Celsius. That's the warmest June temperature so far this month. It's only managed to get to 14.5 throughout the course of this work week. And it looks as if we're not going to really even see 15 Celsius for really the foreseeable. Down across the south, I think it was close to 25 Celsius during Sunday afternoon of the weekend just gone. And it's really been a struggle to get much above 18, 19, 20 Celsius throughout the course of this week. I think temperatures have nudged 21 Celsius in the southeast, but we're going to see that area of low pressure slide eastwards over the next day or so here, and it's going to essentially turn our winds more northerly. But this is the current visible satellite. Plenty of shower activity here, especially across the northwest. Closest to the area of low pressure, we've got the strongest winds also here. And you can see this is the current radar image of weather online. So there's an area of pretty organized rain across the far northwest, and then shower activity just a little bit further south here. So we're continuing to see this stiff west to northwesterly flow, cold air, feeling chilly. Temperatures are bouncing around. When you've got any kind of brightness or sunshine, temperatures are going back into double figures again. Where you're getting the cloud cover, the increased breeze, and the showers, the temperatures are dropping into the upper single figures here. Wind chill values mid single figures. So this is becoming a more notable cold spell as we continue to see this going on and on. So this has lasted 4 or 5 days now here with mountain snow. Temperatures a good 5, 6, 8 Celsius below average across the north. Not too bad across the south. We're seeing mid to upper teens here, so not as bad across the south. That may change as we go forward, by the way. And this is the current temperatures. So we've only got 8s and 9s across the West Highlands at the moment here. Loch Liskarnock, for example, 9.1 with a wind chill of 5.3. There's the temperature at the Cairngorm, 0.9 Celsius. That is as of the 17 minutes past 4 p.m. on a July 7th afternoon, which is pretty amazing. Wind chill minus 7.8. And this is basically the conditions that you would expect anywhere from about 3,500 feet up. So if you're hill walking at the moment, don't bring your shorts and t-shirt by any stretch. This is mid-winter conditions up there, and actually could be deadly if you're not prepared. Snow, ice, also an issue as well. Not trying to hype things up, not trying to scaremonger. It's the reality of the pattern at the moment. Even in summertime, the Scottish mountains can be very, very dangerous places. Further south, like I say, not as bad. 12s and 14s across Northern Ireland. We've actually got the mid to upper teens across parts of the Republic of Ireland. In and around the Dublin area, for example, we've got 18 Celsius. So not feeling just as bad. Mid-teens across the central belt of Scotland. Northern England, where we've got the mid-teens, low to mid-teens, for example. And then as we progress southwards here, this is the temperature's not as bad here, and actually not that far off average. For example, Lakenheath Air Force Base at 19.2 Celsius. So like I said, I've already showed you, this is the GFS ensemble for the next week to 10 days or so here. So this is the day 1 through 5, 6 to 11 here, and the 11 to 15. That is where we may start to see a change taking place. Remember the June forecast, a cold start and a warmer second, and I'm going to kind of hold on to that idea. Now this is the 850 temperatures of the ECMWF, sorry, for the next wee while. And I said that the models are now starting to sniff out a more potent -4, -5 isotherm at 850 millibars descending south during the course of next week. What would that correlate to? That would probably correlate to widespread upper single figure highs and even mid-teens, even low teens across the south of the UK if that -4, -5 isotherm at 5,000 feet above our heads managed to descend south over the UK. So this is the current 850 profile. We've got the cold pocket centered just to the north of the UK, but encompassing the UK. We've got winds coming around that area of low pressure. Nasty conditions across Iceland. I've seen a video actually when I came home this morning, was eating my breakfast, of snowy conditions in Iceland. Check out my Twitter feed. I'm going to try and share that video because it's pretty remarkable stuff actually. The impact it's having, especially the farmers and young calves and animals. Like this is obviously a key breeding time of the year, across the UK, Ireland, but up across Iceland as well. And this is having a massive impact on livestock, agriculture, for example, as well. So if I can remember, I'm going to try and dig up that video on YouTube, and I'll share that on both my Facebook fan page and on Twitter, and possibly even try and share that in the live stream on Sunday afternoon. It's a lassie that flies the other part. She flies from Reykjavik to another part of Iceland, and it's basically whiteout conditions and bitterly cold conditions. Pretty amazing stuff. That is basically essentially where our air mass is coming from. And you can see here, there's the high to the west, low to the north. We've got northwesterly airflow. Now watch what happens off this ECM loop as we go through the course of the weekend. That area of low pressure slides slightly to the east. There's the area of high pressure continuing to stick its nose up towards Greenland. Watch what happens. We've got an area of continued cold coming down from the north, but as we move late weekend and into early next week, we've got a lobe of really, really cold air well to the north, away up in the Arctic region here. But with the position of these, the high to the west and the low to the east, we need to watch out for this lobe of exceptionally cold air for the time of the year, may I add, dropping south. So we've got that northerly flow here, and the only resistance that would have would be a warm pull across Iberia. That would essentially try and slow down the progress south of this air mass. But notice here that this lobe of bitterly cold air, yes, it slightly weakens as it drops south, but notice it actually starts to edge into the northern UK. This is Wednesday next week, and that is actually colder than anything we've seen so far this month, and that could send potential record-breaking cold daytime temperatures, possibly even nighttime temperatures as well, especially clear skies, light winds. We'll watch this space. This is one run. The GFS has been hinting at it as well, and it may disappear. So I want to emphasize that point. I'm not hyping this up, but folks, that is a very, very significant area of cold air for the time of the year. Bear in mind that we're edging towards the middle portions of June, and we're seeing the -5 isotherm at 5,000 feet entering the northern UK. Let's see if it actually shows up clearer on the UK view here. So definitely across the south of the UK, temperatures low teens for highs. Further north, upper single figure daytime maximums would be the case. Let's have a look and see if you can see this clearer. So, and yeah, you notice here that there's no indications of anything particularly significantly warm through, at the very least, the 15th of the month. So there you go. There's that -5 Celsius isotherm edging into Sutherland and Caithness, northern UK. A little bit less severe cold at 5,000 feet across the bulk of England and Wales, if you notice here. And you notice it is coming up against resistance. It's weakening as it drops out. That -5 isotherm isn't dropping all the way to the south coast of England, for example, here. But nonetheless, this is something that we need to keep a close eye on, because this could deliver some fairly significant overnight frosts away from urban areas of the north, and also very, very chilly daytime maximums. Now, another interesting tweet here, and I'll end with this, by the way, because I think I've covered enough. Interesting tweet here that I shared yesterday, last night to be exact, was this person here, who is Official Weather UK, showed this tweet. So with a maximum of -0.9 June 4th, this was the third coldest June day on record, and records dating back to 1985 for Cairngorm Summit, behind only June 4th, 2000 and June 10th, 1986. So you can see here for the record for Cairngorm Summit, which is just over 4,000 feet above our heads, the record is -1.5 on this June 10th, 1986, -1.2 June 4th, 2000, and then -0.9 on the 4th of June 2024. If that air mass drops south, I would not be surprised if that -1.5 record set back in 86 is either threatened or broken on the summit of Cairngorm. So we'll watch this space. But certainly plenty of things going on, isn't there? So I do encourage you to hit that like button, let YouTube himself know that you're enjoying the content here on the channel, and subscribe to the channel. Busy weekend coming up with the tropics tomorrow and the live stream on Sunday, so stay tuned for that. Thanks for watching. Enjoy the rest of your Friday. Bye for now.